Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is Zach de Souza really about to talk about rugby? And the answer, shockingly, is yes. Look, I get it, rugby isn't exactly the first thing that pops into your head when you think of pulse-pounding action. You probably think it's just a bunch of people huddled together, wrestling for a ball shaped like a giant, misshapen egg. And, well, you're not entirely wrong. But beneath that seemingly chaotic surface lies a sport with a rich history, incredible athleticism, and enough bizarre rules and traditions to make even the most jaded sports fan raise an eyebrow. So, whether you're a seasoned rugby fanatic or a curious newcomer, buckle up. Today we're diving headfirst into the thrilling, bone-crunching world of rugby with 10 amazing facts that will leave you absolutely gobsmacked. Our journey begins, as so many things in sports do, in England. Yes, rugby, the sport that makes American football look like a tickle fight, was born in the early 1800s at a place called Rugby School in Warwickshire, England. And no, before you ask, it wasn't some hardcore training ground for future spies or anything. It was a regular school with regular, incredibly bored students. Legend has it that during a particularly dull game of soccer, a student named William Webb Ellis, in a moment of sheer inspiration, or possibly just a complete lapse in judgment, decided, you know what this game needs? Less kicking and a lot more running with a strangely shaped ball, and thus rugby was born. Of course, like any good origin story, this one is probably more myth than reality, but hey, who am I to argue with a good legend? Every 4 years, something truly magical happens. No, I'm not talking about another Twilight movie somehow sneaking its way into existence. I'm talking about the Rugby World Cup. This, my friends, is not your average sporting event. This is a global phenomenon, a 6-week festival of rugby where the best teams from around the world, from New Zealand's legendary All Blacks to the mighty Springboks of South Africa, clash head-on for the ultimate prize in rugby, the Webb Ellis Cup. Millions of people around the world tune in to witness these titans of the sport battle it out in stadiums packed to the rafters with passionate fans. It's a spectacle of athleticism, sportsmanship, and enough bone-jarring tackles to make your head spin. Trust me, you haven't truly experienced rugby until you've felt the electricity of a World Cup match. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, this is all very interesting, but you still haven't explained the basic rules of rugby. What's with the weird egg-shaped ball? Why are they always huddled together like penguins trying to stay warm? And to that I say patience, my friend, patience. First, you need to understand that there are actually two main types of rugby union, and rugby league. Think of it like the Montagues and Capulets of the sports world, only with fewer poison apples and more mud. Rugby union is the more traditional version of the game, played with 15 players on each team. It's known for its complex rules, its emphasis on set pieces like scrums and lineouts, and its uncanny ability to make even the most seasoned sports fans scratch their heads in confusion. Then there's rugby league, the slightly more rebellious younger brother, played with 13 players per side. League is a faster, more free-flowing game, with fewer stoppages and more emphasis on running and passing. Both versions are incredibly entertaining in their own right. But be warned, once you choose a side, there's no going back. You're either a union fan or a league fan for life. Choose wisely. Chapter 4, the All Blacks, more than just a rugby team. They're a national treasure. In the annals of rugby history, one team stands head and shoulders above the rest. The New Zealand All Blacks. These guys are the undisputed rock stars of the rugby world, feared and respected in equal measure. Imagine a team that combines the athleticism of LeBron James, the strategic brilliance of Bill Belichick, and the raw power of a runaway freight train. That's the All Blacks. They've won more Rugby World Cups than any other team. They're known for their iconic All Black jerseys and their bone-chilling pre-match haka, a traditional Maori war dance that will send shivers down your spine. To say they take their rugby seriously in New Zealand would be a massive understatement. It's practically a religion down there. Chapter 5. From ancient Greece to the modern Olympics. Rugby's surprising Olympic journey. You might think of rugby as a relatively modern sport, but its roots actually run deep into history. In fact, there's evidence of games similar to rugby being played in ancient Greece and Rome. Fast forward a few centuries, and rugby made its grand debut at the Olympic Games in the early 20th century. gracing the world stage in 1900, 1908, 1920 and 1924, but like a promising young athlete sidelined by a career-ending injury, rugby's time in the Olympic sun was cut tragically short. After 1924, it was dropped from the Games, banished to the realm of what could have been. But fret not, rugby fans, for like a phoenix rising from the ashes, the sport made a triumphant return to the Olympics in 2016, albeit in the faster-paced, shorter format of rugby sevens. Who knows, maybe one day we'll see the full 15-a-side game back on the Olympic stage. Chapter 6. Scrum halves and fly halves, decoding rugby's positional puzzle. Now let's talk positions. One of the things that makes rugby so unique is the specialised roles each player on the field has. Forget your quarterbacks and wide receivers, your point guards and centres. Rugby marches to the beat of its own drum. You've got your props and hookers, and no, it's not what you think. Your flanker, your number 8, and then there are the positions that sound like they belong in a fantasy novel. The scrum half, the fly half, the fullback. The scrum half, for example, is like the conductor of an orchestra, dictating the pace of the game and linking the forwards and backs. The fly half is the strategic mastermind, calling the shots and directing play with a combination of cunning and precision passing. It's a complex and fascinating system, and it's one of the things that makes rugby such a uniquely compelling sport to watch. Chapter 7, Built like tanks, run like cheetahs, the physicality of rugby. Let's be honest, rugby isn't for the faint of heart. This is a sport that demands every ounce of strength, speed and stamina a human being can muster. These athletes are built like tanks, capable of withstanding bone-jarring tackles that would leave most people curled up in a fetal position. But they're not just brute force. Rugby players are also incredibly agile and quick, capable of sprinting down the field, dodging opponents and scoring tries with breathtaking speed and athleticism. They train relentlessly, pushing their bodies to the absolute limit, and the results are nothing short of astonishing. Now, you might think that a sport as physically demanding and intense as rugby would be full of trash-talking, cheap shots and general unsportsmanlike conduct. And while there's certainly a healthy dose of competition, rugby has a surprisingly strong culture of respect and camaraderie. It's not uncommon to see players from opposing teams sharing a beer after a grueling match, exchanging stories and laughing about the game. It's a testament to the spirit of the sport, a reminder that at the end of the day it's just a game and that there's more to life than winning at all costs. While rugby might have originated in England, its appeal extends far beyond the shores of its birthplace. Today, rugby is played in over 120 countries around the world, from the rolling hills of New Zealand to the bustling streets of Tokyo. It's a sport that transcends borders, cultures and languages, uniting people from all walks of life in their love for the game. Whether you're cheering on the Springboks in South Africa, the Wallabies in Australia, or the Eagles in the United States, one thing's for sure, rugby fever is contagious. If you're looking for a faster-paced, more condensed version of rugby, look no further than Rugby Sevens. This variant of the game features 7 players per side and shorter matches, making for an action-packed spectacle that will leave you breathless. With its emphasis on speed, agility and quick thinking, Rugby Sevens has become incredibly popular in recent years, even earning a coveted spot in the Olympic Games. So if you're short on time but still want your rugby fix, Rugby Sevens is the perfect solution. Well folks, there you have it, 10 mind-blowing facts about rugby that will hopefully leave you with a newfound appreciation for this truly unique and exhilarating sport. From its humble beginnings in an English schoolyard to its global dominance as one of the most popular sports on the planet, rugby has come a long way. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these rugby facts, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And hey, if you ever get the chance to catch a rugby match in person, I highly recommend it. You won't be disappointed. Just be prepared for some serious tackling, some even more serious chanting and a whole lot of passion. Stay tuned for more amazing content.